What's going on, Disc Nation? This is Ken here to give you a tour of Micke Grove, one of the cooler parks in Northern California. It's just got it all. It's got a Japanese garden, it's got a museum, it's got a zoo, it's got a disc golf course in it, and it has my wife. So say hello to her. You'll see a little bit in the video later. First things first, here's some stats on me and my wife. We're not going to see us much in this video because unfortunately I was running low on power and had to kind of give priority to the course itself. So not a lot of us in this one. So where is Micke Grove? Micke Grove is in Lodi, which is in kind of northern central California, so towards the middle. Just off 80 though, not too far away, not too hard to find. As you can see, the course itself is pretty big. Overall, and the disc course kind of occupies the bottom in this image here, so we'll just kind of pull that down so you can get a look at it. Entrance is on the left in this image, so you'll come in, go around the roundabout, hang a left, and then there's plenty of parking, but I'd recommend you park over by the baseball diamond because that's where the restroom is, and it's a little bit away from number one. And as you can see, the course kind of wraps around the rest of it. Here's the practice area to get you going, and here's number one. So number one has 3 basket positions. A couple things to note about the course is that there are usually multiple baskets in the ground at all times on most holes, so you'll need to calibrate yourself. There is a double mando on this number one, which is trying to protect those cars on the left, but again, I recommend you don't park there. So I've seen a couple cars get hit. But yeah, there'll be multiple baskets, so you do kind of need to calibrate yourself to whichever one you're supposed to be throwing at. There's one in the back right there, but we'll get a better look at that one in just a second. There's the front one, and then we'll come to this back one here, and then we'll hang it right over, and there it is again. So as you can see, multiple baskets in on number one. And then we'll cruise across the street to number two. Number two has 3 positions in it. Single tee-pad, you're throwing right over the road for all 3 of them pretty much. The road and beyond the road is always going to be OB, and then over the fence is always going to be OB, so you'll see that get repeated many times as we cruise around the park. But yeah, again, there's going to be multiple positions in place on this one. So here's the front one, and then the back 2 are a little bit tricky to see, but they're tucked in the back there. I'm going to hang it right and head over to 3 long, or 3 alternate. 3 positions from back here, but a little bit more tunnely and just a touch longer, so it does present a little bit more of a challenge. And there's water way over to the right, but it's kind of difficult to reach, so I wouldn't worry about it too much. And then here's 3 regular, or 3 short, depending on how you want to look at it. As you can see here, it's wide open, so a good place to kind of open up your favorite disc. Same 3 positions, of course. Again, water's over there, and again, it's pretty hard to get to, so I wouldn't worry about it too much. The trees will protect you. But yeah, again, and even on this hole, you can see that there's multiple basket positions. There's the yellow one on the left there, one in the center, and then the one on the right is not in there, but highlighted for you there. And then once we're done here, we'll just carry on past the back one here to number 4. So number 4 has 3 positions in it as well, and they're quite different depending on which one you end up throwing at. As you can see, it's either left, right, or center. The road in beyond is OB, and it is kind of reachable if you do happen to thread one through the trees here with full strength. There's the back one on the right. There's the left, and then the one we're heading for today is in the middle. But yeah, the road's kind of reachable, so you do want to kind of be a little bit careful about just full arming something. But afterwards, you head across the street a little bit left. That'll take you to number 5, or kind of number 5 long. And again, a similar motion to number 2, where you're kind of out over the road. I suppose you could try that left route, but I probably wouldn't. And if you don't like that one, you can head up and take on 5 alternate, or 5 short. Yeah, 4 positions on this one, and again, you've got an option of going left if you wanted to, but I've sort of traced the right routes because they're far safer, of course. But yeah, if you wanted to throw that left route, I suppose you could. Here's the front position here, and here's our second one, and then there's 2 in the back there for the final C and D positions. And when you're done there, you just have a short walk to the left a little bit to 6 alternate or 6 long. Again, I'm sort of showing the kind of right-hand routes here. Those seem the most obvious. I suppose you could throw the left ones again as well, but I personally wouldn't bring that fence into play, as I mentioned earlier, but it's up to you. Or you can head over to 6 proper or 6 short. And same positions, a little bit easier with the trees. However, you are throwing over the road a bit more, and I think it kind of takes the left out of play on this particular tee. But yeah, feel free to experiment. Here's our first position here. See my wife nailing a putt. Our middle position here, and then the right position is pretty much got road the whole way. So this one's probably the trickiest in terms of trying to stay in bounds when you throw for that one. Then you got a little bit of a walk down the fence line here to number 7 alternate. This is a tricky shot because it's not only a low tunnel shot, you have the rare triple mando on this one, so you kind of have to throw the low tunnel shot. Otherwise you can skip that one, head over to the left a little bit to 7 proper. And no more triple mandos. So still kind of a low tunnel shot, but you can have a little bit more room to work with. It's a little more forgiving of a shot than that back position. But as we head up here, we'll come to our first position here on the left, and then the other 2 are pretty close together actually. You see the one on the right is in the ground, and the one in the back there is not in today. And when you're done here, we'll head over to number 8. Number 8 also has 3 positions, and it's a little bit tunnely if you have a normal size arm like me, or if you're one of those folks that's got a big arm, you could go up over the trees, I suppose. But I personally have never tried that. I've just tried to thread this shot right here, and when you throw it well, you'll usually end up in a good spot, unless you clip a tree, as you can see like I did today. And there's a position on the right there, and then the 2 in the middle. And the one we're throwing at today is this one in the back here. And when you're done, hang a little bit of a left, and you come to one of my favorites on the course, number 9, probably everybody's, because this is the pyramid hole. Again, you're kind of throwing a little bit of a tunnely shot right down the middle here. It's a little more forgiving though, not quite as low as the last 2. You do happen to go over the fence, which is kind of challenging to do. That is OB. But here's the pyramid shot. It's a lot of fun. I don't recommend trying to hit the pyramid though. There's a position on the right, because I have hit this thing square and it rolled my disc like 30 feet away. so I recommend you just kind of slide up to it, because it's also not an easy putt. And when you're done, you hang a right, and right over to number 10. And I'll be straight with you, I am not sure how to throw this shot when it's in the back positions. I'm showing the low tunnely shots. The front ones are more reachable, but those back ones, I'm not sure. I've tried throwing the tunnel shot, I've tried going up over the top of these trees. It's more arm than I've got. So, do your best. But yeah, if you do happen to keep it low and long, you will end up with a decent shot on your second throw. But it is one of the more challenging holes on the course, I think, just because of how low the trees are. And then you're going to have to backtrack a little bit to number 11, so be a little careful as you're coming back. Make sure people aren't coming at you on 10 as you finish. But 11 is another one of those it's kind of longer and kind of low and tunnely. And the reason that blue line is going up the mountain is because the basket is up on a hill, believe it or not. But yeah, I usually take this route that we're walking through now for this one. There's the right position there. But you could, I guess, try to go over the top if you've got the arm for it, but I tend to follow this path, and that usually ends up treating me pretty well. And we're going to head over to the left here, and that's the other basket, believe it or not. So that one is quite a bit more difficult than the other ones. But then we come to number 12, which is an interesting hole because of how it's set up. I have always assumed that the right 2 positions there were wide open. You could take whatever route you wanted. And then there's an island green now, but there's a double mando for that blue one. I think the double mando is only for the blue one. So, I can't imagine you throwing the other 3 with the double mando, but someone will probably let me know in the comments. There's the island green there. That one I've never seen in the ground, but I'm sure it's fun. And then you're going to watch something extremely rare here. That's me making a putt. Holy smokes, folks. There's the back two positions on the right there, including the one with the double mando. But yeah, I've never seen that island green, but it does look like a lot of fun. You're going to hang a hard left, and then that'll take you over to number 13. Number 13, you're pretty much throwing a little bit of a tunnely shot because the hill, between the hill and that limb straight in front of you, it's a little bit narrow. Not too bad though. Road's out of bounds. It's pretty much not in play though, and the fence is pretty far away as well. I wouldn't worry about those. You just want to throw it right over the top of this hill and just get it to come back left. There's the long position, which is pretty much dead straight ahead. There's the first position there. And there's my wife trying to park a shot for the middle one we're throwing at today. When you're done, you need to head across the entranceway over to number 14. This is a fun shot because it's very gettable for birdie in all three positions really. The blue's a little bit tricky, although you do have to pay attention to one thing, and that is that there is a mando, as you see. And you're going to watch me just get a little too close to that mando. I did catch it technically, so I'm in good shape, but much closer than I want it to be. But yeah, fun hole, to kind of get in here and kind of thread something, and usually end up in pretty good position for a birdie, particularly if it's in the front. And there's the back two there. When you're done here, straight ahead a little bit to the right, come to number 15. Number 15's three spots, and these are kind of fun too because you've got options. You could go left or right of the tree. Obviously, if you go right, you got to be careful about the road, but it's not too hard to keep it out of the road, and I wouldn't worry about the fence too much. But this is a fun shot regardless of which basket you're throwing at, because you can kind of like hang something in the air either way and then drop it on for a birdie putt. And there's all three spots, as you can see. And then you'll head straight ahead, across the path, a little bit to the left, and that'll take you to 16. 16 has three positions. Again, you've got some options on all three. Other than the back one, you probably should go right because the road is OB, and I have been OB on the road at least twice because something came back too hard left. So yeah, the water's also back there, but it's pretty far. Like, I've never been worried about the water myself, but if you're a big arm person, you might worry about it. And there's that back position there. But it's usually fine. Usually not worried about the water. Then you're going to hang back right, go across the bridge to number 17. Now, 4 positions on this one. Now, back in the day, you used to be able to throw over the top of these trees, believe it or not. But they're so tall now, you have to kind of throw these threaded shots through the middle here. Water's right next to you, obviously, so you want to make sure you don't hang anything left. But all 4 positions are kind of straight ahead. They're just either soft left or soft right. There's the first 2 there, and then we're headed to this one we're throwing at today, and then there's one in the back there. But yeah, it's a fun shot. And soft left over to number 18 to finish up. And 3 positions here. One is hard left, so it definitely brings the water into play, but you can just throw straight, and then you'll be in a good position for your second throw. Or if you want to get aggressive and try to wrap it around this corner, you know what? Go for it. Sorry about the low angle on this. I didn't realize the camera flipped down a little bit. I'll realize it in a second here. There we go. There's the right position there, and we're headed for the middle one. And then we're going to hang a hard left over to the last one here, which you can see is quite close to the water, although the water's not very deep right here, so I wouldn't worry too much of that as we go in there. And that's Micke Grove. I mean, it's a cool park overall, even without the disc course, but the disc course is also a lot of fun, as you can see. Lots of different shots, lots of different options when you're playing, so strongly recommend it. And as always, we'll see you out there, and thanks for watching.